We have to talk about this. This right here, really, we have to. We have to talk about this, okay? Don't click off. We're talking about it. This is happening right now. Right here, right now. Okay, before I get into my little rant, I want to make it clear that this is not sponsored by Crayola. Crayola doesn't know I exist, and we do not have each other's numbers. I am making zero money from ranting about Crayola. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the meat of the topic. I don't know why this is. Maybe it's because I recently rekindled my love for crayons. It seems to me that every artist I follow on the Instagrammers or the YouTubes have something negative to say about crayons. There is one YouTuber, which is Echo is Weird, that has done a positive video about crayons, and I do want to thank her for that and do a shout out for that because I know that millions watch my videos. Go check her out. Her channel is absolute mood. Okay. But she doesn't really go in depth as to why we should be sending more love to our brilliant art supply, and that's going to be my goal for today. By the end of this, you all should be going to Walmart and purchasing your own set of 64 crayons. You're welcome. Okay. I'm not one for the mentality that a children's art tool is lame, or not for adults, because that's like saying children don't make real art, and that, my friends, is all a lie. Art is purely subjective, and what I mean by that is what looks fantastic to some people is going to be lame to others. Things that creep one group out is going to enthrall another. There is no status quo, and anybody who is trying to set up one obviously doesn't remember the age of stick figures throwing sticks at stick buffalo. Yeah, that's right. This used to be considered a masterpiece. It's the same reason why the channel Solar Sands gets so much crap for his videos, because his critique is based on his experiences and his understanding of what makes good art. I mean, yes, we can all agree that Sonic's OCs on DeviantArt aren't exactly Monet. That doesn't exactly separate it from what makes art great. Now, I know what you're thinking. None of this has anything to do with crayons. But art supplies and tools is how we make the art in the first place, and should be understood as such. There is no bad and good art supplies. There are supplies that you know how to use effectively, and ones that you do not know how to use effectively. Just because watercolors don't work for me, and my pieces are nothing more than puddles on ripped paper, does not mean I'm going to scream from the rooftops that watercolors suck! Because they don't. I just haven't found a way to use them properly. Crayons are the same way. I'm sick of artists hating on this product because they have deemed it unworthy of their sophisticated hands. I will agree, there are faults and brands of crayons that don't live up to what is expected of the medium, but I'm not about to say that crayons suck. Crayons don't. They're awesome. A lot of criticism for crayons is the texture. Even Echo is Weird says the texture is awful in her video, defending crayons. But why? Why? I personally love the unique bumpy texture of crayons. It's not their fault the hip new trend is smooth and digital. Just because the digital is popular does not devalue the texture of crayons. Do you remember back in the day when it was all about acrylic and oil paints? All the masters were into the gloomy goodness. I mean, look at all that paint. Paint splatter here, some over there. There's a lot of paint there. There's a lot of paint. There's so much paint. Everyone is allowed their opinion, and it's okay to say you hate the texture of crayons, or how messy and fun it is, or how pigmented and saturated these little wax sticks can be, but that does not give you the right to label them as a bad art supply. You can also argue that crayons suck because they're hecka cheap, which is a bonus, not a downside. It's this idea that artists have unwittingly promoted that the more expensive the art supply, the better you'll be at art. And that is absolute baloney. You don't need $100, 36 set of Copic You don't need a 36 set of Copic markers worth $100 to be the best there ever was. Now, I have heard that many artists believe what I am saying here, but it's kind of hard to believe when they're using gigantic antique pads and fancy smancy paints to create whatever amateur artists like me view as good art. I think I'm not the only one that is catching on to how careless influencers are with the messages they send out into the internet. Shane and his pizza scandal, for one, is a fun little idea, but has real life consequences that he just didn't think of when he made the video the way he did. A lot of influencers unwittingly become the barringer of death to people and their mental health because they simply don't know the scope of their influence over others. It was super discouraging for me when Drawing with Waffles made a video about how Copics are really worth it, how she could feel herself suddenly gaining this new skill in painting and drawing. Why did I say painting? I can't believe I just said painting. You don't paint with Copics. Anyway, I get it, okay? I understand that they're great, but I don't really have money for something like that. And accidentally convincing me that my skills as an artist will never improve because of it bogs and discourages me from using what is available to me. We need to be more encouraging of all art and all the forms it comes in, because when we do, the community gets rid of some of the trash and the bad rap. It becomes a less intimidating place to be, especially for someone like me who enjoys a good session of coloring with crayons, the OG of many artists today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want some more rants, which will come in the future. I have nothing else to say. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, bye-bye.